So in today's class, we are going to discuss the introduction of SAP UI5 Fiori OData, etc. So I'll try to demonstrate what's the purpose of UI5 Fiori as well as OData. Today's class is a demo class. I'll try to give the overview of UI5 Fiori and OData. So before we start, first of all, we need to understand the difference between SAP ABAP applications and SAP UI5 Fiori applications. Let us start with this particular topic here. Difference between SAP ABAP applications and SAP UI5 Fiori applications. So let me explain with a diagram. You can see in case of SAP ABAP applications, there will be a client, that means end user will make use of SAP GUI software. And there will be a server, and it can be SAP ECC or CRM or SRM, etc. So technically, in any ABAP application, there will be a request and response. In every ABAP application, between client and server, there is request and response. But the point here is, when you access any ABAP application, I can say the screen is loaded in end user machine. The screen is loaded in end user machine when you access any ABAP application. But I can say the screen related code is executed always in a browser, in a server. The screen related code is always executed inside a server. Not only that, I can say the coding related to screen elements like table or a drop down or a radio button, etc. So the coding related to all screen elements are also executed in server. Coding related to all screen elements are also executed in server. And I can say coding related to validations are also executed inside server. And all the event handlers related code is also executed in server machine. All the event handlers code is also executed in server machine. At the same time, the coding related to all database operations are also executed in server machine. coding related to all database operations are also executed inside server machine. So what I can say is, in case of every SAP ABAP application, all the functionalities, screen related code, screen elements code, validations code, event handlers, database operations, so everything will be executed inside a server. Everything is executed in server in case of every SAP ABAP application. That's the reason why ABAP applications are technically known as stateful applications. That is the first point you need to notice here. All ABAP applications are technically known as stateful applications. Why? Because all the functionalities of an ABAP application are totally executed in server. Only screen is loaded in client, but all the remaining things are executed in server. That's the reason why ABAP applications are stateful applications in technical words. And not only that, the performance of stateful applications is average. Performance will be average or it can be poor because server will be busy and overloaded during the execution. Performance wise, you can expect an average performance or poor performance because in stateful applications, server will be busy, server will be overloaded. Server will be busy and server is overloaded. Because of that reason, in stateful applications, the performance is not up to the mark. And we are calling these applications as stateful because, let me write that reason. All the functionalities are executed under server. That's the main reason. So this is what happened. This is the behavior of every ABAP application. This is the execution behavior of every ABAP application. So let me write that note here. SAP ABAP applications are technically known as stateful applications because almost all the functionalities are executed under server itself. They're executed in server itself. And I can say in stateful applications, server will be busy and server will be overloaded during the execution. So performance is average. This is just a general execution behavior of any ABAP application. So this is how it looks like. Don't worry, after every class, I'll forward these diagrams, I'll forward these note files so that you can use it for further reference. After every class, I'll forward these diagrams, I'll forward these note files so you can use it for further reference. Okay, let us understand what is the execution behavior of SAP UI5 and Fiori applications. Let us understand that. What is the behavior of UI5 Fiori applications in terms of execution? So definitely there will be a client, there will be a server, and client means end user will make use of a browser. End user will make use of a browser. And the server can be like ECC or CRM or SRM, whatever. And between client and server in UI5 Fiori applications also, definitely there will be a request and response. We call it as HTTP request and HTTP response. Between client and server in UI5 Fiori applications, you can expect HTTP request and HTTP response between client and server. But whenever you access any UI5 or any Fiori application, definitely the screen will be loaded in end user machine under browser. Screen will be loaded in end user machine under browser. Not only that, I can say the screen related code is also executed inside a browser in client machine. The screen rendering, the screen related code is totally executed in client machine inside the browser. And not only that, the screen elements related code like table or a drop down, radio button, etc. So the coding related to all screen elements and the coding related to screen rendering also happens because of the execution inside client inside browser. And not only that, the front-end validations code is also executed in client under browser. In every UI5 Fiori applications, screen related code, screen elements code, front-end validations code, and all the event handlers code is also executed under client inside browser. But what I can say is only database operations are executed in server. Only database operations are executed inside server. Select statement, delete statement, update statement, insert statement. So this type of operations will be executed inside server. Except database operations, almost all the other functionalities are directly executed within the client, within the browser. In every UI5 and Fiori application, except database operations, all the remaining functionalities are totally executed in client within the browser. So that's the reason why SAP UI5 Fiori applications are technically known as stateless applications. They are stateless. This is important for us. UI5 Fiori applications are technically known as stateless applications because almost 95% of the code is getting executed in client machine within the browser. So that's the reason why we call them as stateless. Let me write a simple note. Because almost 95% functionalities are executed under client inside browser. Inside client under browser. That's the reason why these are stateless applications. UI5 Fiori applications are always stateless. And if you closely observe this type of execution, in every stateless application, the server is not overloaded here. Server is executing only database related operations. Server is executing just only database related functionalities. That's the reason why I can say server is free most of the times and server is not overloaded. I can say server will be free most of the time and it will not be overloaded because server is executing only database functionality. So we can expect best performance in stateless applications. We can expect best performance in stateless applications. So this is the most important point. Almost 95% of functionalities are executed in client. Only database operations are executed in server. That's the reason why we call these applications as stateless. So let me highlight these things in the note file. SAP UI5 or Fiori applications are technically known as stateless applications because almost 95% functionalities are executed under client. That means within the browser. And I can say in stateless applications, server will be free. Most of the time it will be free and not overloaded. So we can expect best performance. So these are the two important things you need to notice. These are the two important differences between your regular ABAP application and UI5 Fiori application. So the explanation which I provided This is with respect to execution. The explanation which I've compared is with respect to the execution. Please remember that. Now, not only this difference, there are several other differences. Not only this, there are several other differences between regular ABAP applications and UI5 Fiori applications. So let me highlight those things. Let me highlight those things here. SAP ABAP and SAP UI5 Fiori. Let me just give some more clarity between ABAP applications and UI5 Fiori applications. So, as I told you, ABAP applications are stateful. UI5 Fiori applications are stateless. We have already come across this point now. I've already explained. And the performance is not up to the mark here. But here in UI5 Fiori, performance wise, definitely you can expect best performance. I've already covered that point. In UI5 Fiori, they are stateless, so stateless applications definitely will provide best performance. But not only these 2 points, there are several other differences. The other main difference is ABAP applications are accessible from desktop as well as laptops. ABAP applications are accessible mainly from desktops and laptops. But UI5 Fiori applications we can access from desktops, laptops, tablets, as well as mobile devices. So I mean to say UI5 Fiori applications are device independent. They are device independent because you can access your application from any device. UI5 Fiori application will allow us to access any data directly from a desktop or a laptop, tablet or a mobile. But in case of ABAP application you can access only from desktops and laptops. ABAP applications you cannot access from a mobile device. That is a serious disadvantage. ABAP applications you cannot access directly from a mobile device. So that's a serious disadvantage. But in UI5 Fiori, you can access your SAP data from any device. That is one of the main strength. That is one of the main strength of UI5 Fiori. That's one of the main advantage of UI5 Fiori. UI5 Fiori apps are accessible from any device. And not only that, I can say ABAP applications are GUI based applications. ABAP applications are mainly GUI based applications, but UI5 Fiori applications are browser based. They are browser based. ABAP applications are mainly GUI based, but UI5 Fiori applications are browser based. And most importantly, you can use any browser. You can use Internet Explorer. You can use Mozilla Firefox. You can use Google Chrome. You can use any type of browser in order to access SAP data using UI5 or Fiori. So, not only that, SAP ABAP applications are mainly suitable for intranet. They are mainly suitable for intranet. SAP ABAP applications are mainly suitable for intranet. That means within the organization network. Within the organization network, you will be able to access ABAP application, and that is the main intention of any ABAP application. But UI5 Fiori applications can be accessible from intranet, that means within the organization. And UI5 Fiori applications can be accessed comfortably via internet. UI5 Fiori applications can be accessed via intranet or via internet without any problem in terms of performance. There won't be any difference with respect to performance whether you access from intranet or internet if your application is UI5 Fiori. And not only that, I can say in order to design ABAP screens, SAP has provided maximum 15 screen elements. In order to design ABAP screen, SAP has provided maximum 15 screen elements. Like table, tab strip, drop down, radio button, checkbox, selection screen. So like that, there are 15 screen elements in order to design any ABAP application. That means the screen designing in ABAP is very limited. The screen designing is very limited. Why? Because SAP has provided few screen elements, maximum 15 screen elements. But in case of UI5 Fiori, SAP has provided more than 150 screen elements. More than 150 screen elements. In UI5 Fiori, we have more than 150 screen elements, and we can design our screens as we like. We can provide more interactive features. We can design our screens as we like. There is no limitation on screen designing. We can design our screens as we like. We can provide more interactive features because we have a vast library. We have a vast library in UI5 Fiori. So in the coming classes, you will understand what are those screen elements, how to use those screen elements. You will understand in the coming classes. So we have more than 150 screen elements. So you can imagine in which way we can design our screens. More than 150. And it is a vast library. Not only that, ABAP screens are technically heavyweight screens here. ABAP screens are technically heavyweight screens. So what do you mean by heavyweight screens here? ABAP screens consume more memory and more time to load. ABAP screens are technically heavyweight screens because they consume more memory and it takes more time to load. Consumes more memory as well as it takes more time to load. That's the reason why all our ABAP screens are technically heavyweight screens. And UI5 Fiori screens are purely lightweight screens. UI5 Fiori screens are purely lightweight screens. That means they consume less memory and less time to load. UI5 Fiori screens are lightweight screens because they consume less memory and they take less time to load during the execution. And not only that, I can say ABAP screens and ABAP applications generally doesn't support website features. ABAP applications generally they doesn't support website features. But in UI5 Fiori, it supports all website features. Including audio video integration. UI5 Fiori screen supports all website features as well as it also can have audio video file in an application with just by writing 2 lines of code. Just by writing 2 lines of code, we can apply or we can have an audio video integration in our application. It's very easy. And not only that, I can say mainly ABAP screens will perform database interaction with SAP. ABAP screens mainly perform database interaction with SAP. The data whichever you see in your normal regular ABAP screen, that will come from SAP backend itself mainly. But in UI5 Fiori screens can perform database interaction, can have database interaction with SAP as well as non-SAP. UI5 Fiori screens, I'm talking about screens. UI5 Fiori screens can easily perform database interaction with SAP and non-SAP. So these are some of the differences. Between SAP ABAP application and SAP UI5 Fiori application. Just remember these points. But not only that, let me make you understand the architecture here. A simple architecture. Let me explain a simple architecture of UI5 Fiori and OData. Let me take a diagram here. So in general, there can be various backend systems like SAP ECC or SAP CRM or SAP SRM, or there can be SAP HANA system, or it can be a non-SAP system. There can be SAP ECC as backend, CRM as backend, or SRM as a backend, or it can be HANA system as a backend, or it can be non-SAP. So the point here is we can have SAP NetWeaver gateway. We can have SAP NetWeaver gateway, and we can develop OData ABAP services by implementing database operations. Under SAP NetWeaver gateway, we can develop OData ABAP services, and those OData ABAP services deals with a database functionality. It deals with a database functionality with something like ECC or CRM. It can be SRM. SAP NetWeaver gateway will execute OData ABAP services, but these OData services mainly contains a database functionality. OData ABAP service mainly contains a database functionality for interacting with ECC, CRM, SRM. Not only that, there can be SAP HANA Access Engine. There will be SAP HANA Access Engine. In that we can execute OData HANA services. In that we can execute OData HANA services. But these OData HANA services also contains database operations. Don't forget that. OData HANA services also mainly contains a database functionality. HANA service contains a database functionality, and that is for interacting with SAP HANA system. Not only that, there can be OData external service. OData external service, and OData external services also contains a database functionality. But OData external services are meant for interacting with non-SAP system. They are meant for interacting with non-SAP system. But ultimately, OData external service also contains a database functionality here. So let me write a simple note. OData services mainly contains database operations. So this is the first point that you need to understand. Whenever I say OData, that means it contains a database functionality. Whenever in the coming classes, whenever I say OData, generally OData means it deals with a database functionality. That is the first point that should come to your mind. And OData services can be OData ABAP service for database interaction with ECC or CRM or SRM. It can be OData services can be OData HANA services, that is for database interaction with SAP HANA system. And OData service can be an external service for database interaction with SAP, with non-SAP system. Not SAP, it is for non-SAP backend. We use external service. So, but whatever may be OData service, ultimately OData service contains a database functionality. Insert, delete, update, select query, those things will be implemented. Insert, delete, update, select query, those type of things will be implemented in OData. Okay, not only that, I can say there is SAP UI5 framework here now. SAP UI5 is a framework. So by using SAP UI5 framework, we can develop custom front-end applications. By using SAP UI5 framework, we can develop custom front-end applications. We develop custom front-end applications from scratch level, and these applications are capable of consuming OData ABAP service, OData HANA service, OData external service. Let me repeat. The front-end applications, whatever we develop, custom front-end applications, we develop using UI5 framework, and these custom applications can consume ABAP service, HANA service, and external service. Custom front-end applications which are developed using UI5, they can consume any type of service to deal with the database functionality. The custom front-end applications will consume OData services in order to deal with the database functionality. So first let me write a simple note here. It is a framework used to develop custom front-end applications. Custom front-end applications. And these front-end applications can consume OData services for dealing with database functionality. These front-end applications can consume OData services for dealing with database functionality. So as of now, just remember these two lines. So this is not final. This statement is not final. The statements will increase. At right time, I'll introduce the right keyword with a practical example. Then you'll get more and more clarity. But as of now, at present, I can say UI5 is like a framework, and that framework we use it for developing custom front-end applications. And these front-end applications also consume OData services. They consume OData services and they can deal with database functionality finally. Not only that, I can say SAP has provided standard front-end applications also. SAP has provided several standard front-end applications. But these standard front-end applications, technically, we call them as Fiori here. Generally, standard front-end applications, we consider them as Fiori applications. That's the technical word we use. SAP has provided standard front-end applications, and those standard front-end applications, technically we call it as a Fiori, but internally uses SAP UI5. Don't forget that framework. Standard front-end applications, we technically call them as Fiori applications, but these standard applications also are developed using UI5. Under Fiori application, internally, definitely there will be UI5 again. Fiori applications, they are nothing but generally standard applications, and those standard applications also uses UI5 concept. At the same time, these standard front-end applications can also interact with any kind of backend service. Your Fiori standard application can consume ABAP service, they can consume HANA service, they can consume external service. Standard front-end Fiori applications also can consume ABAP service, HANA service, external service to deal with database functionality. So let me write a simple note. SAP Fiori, let me give the shortcut statement. Okay, when we move forward, you'll get more and more clarity. So the statement which I'm writing, that is not final. The meaning will increase. The meaning will increase. I mean to say, the meaning may slightly change when we move forward. But at present, I can say SAP Fiori, it is a package. You can just consider it as a package with collection of standard front-end applications. SAP Fiori is like a package, and that package contains collection of standard front-end applications. These standard front-end applications are also internally developed using SAP UI5. Don't forget that. The standard applications which are part of Fiori also internally developed using SAP UI5. Let me repeat. The standard front-end applications which are part of Fiori are also internally developed using SAP UI5 framework. And these standard front-end applications also consume OData services for database interaction. These standard front-end Fiori applications also consume OData services. Standard front-end Fiori applications also consume OData services to deal with database functionality. So, as a developer, if required, we can enhance or customize standard Fiori app. That is what we are going to do in the coming classes when I start Fiori. As a developer, if required, we can enhance or we can customize any standard Fiori app as per requirement, as per client requirement. That is possible. We can do it and we are going to do it. So, let me give some more points here. Let me elaborate this meaning. SAP Fiori, I am saying it is like a package and it contains standard front-end applications. So, these standard front-end applications, they are developed by SAP for common business activities. Let me elaborate here. So what I'm saying is, okay, Fiori contains standard applications, but those standard applications mainly deals with common business activities. All the Fiori standard applications which are given by SAP mainly deals with the common business activities which happens in every organization. So what do you mean by common business activity here? For example, approve or reject a leave. For example, approve or rejecting a leave. So that's a very common functionality. That's a common business functionality. A manager has to approve or reject a leave request. That's a very common business functionality. So for that functionality, SAP has provided a standard Fiori app. But internally developed using SAP UI5 plus OData. Don't forget that. Approving or rejecting a leave request is a general activity. It's a general and common business activity. So there is a Fiori app given by SAP. So, but this Fiori app also internally developed using UI5 plus OData. All the Fiori apps are internally developed using UI5 and OData. Don't forget that. For example, approve or reject purchase order. Approve or reject a purchase order. That's a very common business activity. So SAP has provided a standard Fiori app internally developed using UI5 plus OData. Not only that, tracking purchase order. Tracking purchase order is a very common business activity. So SAP has provided a standard Fiori app, but Fiori app is also internally developed using UI5 and OData. And tracking sales order is a very common business activity. Tracking sales order is a very common business activity. So SAP has provided a standard Fiori app. But every Fiori app internally developed using UI5 and OData. And creating sales order is a common business activity. Creating sales order is a very common business activity. So SAP has provided a standard Fiori app developed using UI5 and OData internally. And changing sales order. Changing sales order is also a very common business activity. So SAP has provided standard Fiori app. But that app is also internally uses UI5 and OData. And checking price and availability of material. Checking price and availability of material, that's a very common business activity. So SAP has provided a standard Fiori app internally developed using UI5 and OData. Etc. Like this, SAP provided almost more than 500 standard Fiori apps. SAP has provided almost more than 500 standard Fiori apps, but all those apps are internally developed using UI5 plus OData. SAP has provided more than 500 standard Fiori apps, and they are going to increase this number of applications. Day by day, they are going to increase. But all these Fiori apps ultimately and internally uses UI5 and OData concept. So if you want, you can customize these Fiori apps. There is no problem. You have a freedom to customize or enhance these apps as per our client requirement. We can customize or enhance a standard Fiori app as per our client requirement. That is possible, and we are going to do it. That is part of our syllabus, no need to worry. And let me tell you the main syllabus. The main syllabus will be, I'll be taking up SAP OData services. I'll take up that everything, whatever is part of the course content, I'll cover in detail and with clarity. Clarity is important. So I'll cover with 100% clarity. Whatever is prescribed in the course content, everything will be covered in detail, so that after this training, you can confidently attend any interview. And from your side, make sure that you are practicing at least 1 hour. Daily 1 hour practice definitely will improve your confidence level. And as part of our course, OData topic is one of the main topic, and HTML, CSS, scripting, XML. So this also will be covered in detail in our training from the scratch level. And SAP UI5, it will be covered in detail. And SAP Fiori, it will be covered in detail. And SAP Fiori-like apps, that also will be covered. So these are the main things in our course syllabus. These are the main things in our course syllabus. SAP OData services and HTML, CSS scripting, XML, UI5, Fiori and Fiori-like applications, and all these things will be covered on SAP NetWeaver Gateway plus Eclipse tool plus SAP Web ID tool. These are the three main tools we are going to use. These are the three main tools we are going to use: SAP NetWeaver Gateway, Eclipse tool, as well as SAP Web ID tool. So that is the main course content. And the duration will be approximately 50 hours it may take. Approximately it may take 50 hours duration. So please check the syllabus sheet. Please check the syllabus sheet. After checking the syllabus sheet, you can ask me your doubts on the course content. Okay, I'll forward the syllabus sheet to everyone. Go through that syllabus sheet once. After that, if you have any problem with that course content, you can come to me, you can ask me, no problem. And you can see, so that means the duration will be approximately 50 hours and it may take around 2 months. That means it may take around 2 months. And we also provide online server access for practicing purpose. We provide online server access to everyone for practicing purpose. We provide it to everyone, those who are attending this training. And we provide this at least for 4 months you can utilize. At least for 4 months you can utilize this particular online server. Okay, but the course duration will be 2 months. Around 50 hours it may take.